young girl in the 30s. You know, she's with her. What's with her? She's with the high heelers. Right?
Oh yeah.
Wait.
It's because that family they changed the name. Tudor is not their last name. It was
What did you say about that gesture?
that's the German Heil Hitlers.
Okay, what were you saying about it? Associated with Queen Elizabeth was doing that?
I don't know if she was doing it, but the people that she was with, they were taking a walk and stroll in a garden somewhere in Germany, and they're giving the Heil Hitler salute.
While when?
1930s, I said.
So Churchill was at war with Hitler, and they're in England they're doing stuff like that.
What? Churchill? What does Churchill have to do with this?
Wasn't Churchill at war with Hitler?
Yeah.
Yeah, he basically warned England, watch out for the rise of Hitler in Germany, and not many people paid much attention to him until later. And then once they defeated Germany, they forgot about Churchill. He was good for wartime.
No, Churchill defeated Hitler. No?
Well,
I would
Churchill,
say
Roosevelt, and
you
Stalin.
don't want to know who really defeated him, it was Stalin, because it was. If you look at the way Germany deployed troops, 80% of their troops were on the Eastern Front, fighting Russia, fighting the Soviet Union, right? That's where they had all the massive losses. And then, you had the French resistance, and you had Britain and the landing at Normandy with the U.S. didn't get involved until 1942. That war really began in 1939. They invaded Czechoslovakia again because land had been taken away from them under the Treaty of Versailles.
Yeah. So the Treaty of Versailles was to compensate for. I was saying, how did Hitler become popular? Because he was disputing the Treaty of Versailles and the nationalism in Germany against that.
What happened in Germany is they suffered a terrible depression after World War I. In order to try to make their payments, the reparation payments, they had to resort to basically printing, right? And eventually confidence was lost.
What was lost?
Confidence.
Confidence was lost in the
mark.
Okay, because so then and then
basically they take bills already in circulation and they would stamp instead of 1 mark it's 1,000 marks now, right?
Oh wow.
Yeah, they would.
So that's where that behavior. That's one instance of it. That's when an example. They didn't. Okay, and then that he was saying they were blaming Germany for starting.
Who was Germany? Who was blaming Germany?
The people that Treaty of Versailles. Who wrote that?
Okay, the French were the principal recipients of it. Like Germany had to give, I think it was 1/4 or 1/5 of its coal production to France. They had to give up the Alsace-Lorraine. They had to surrender the Sudetenland.
Which is what? That's coal.
That's
coal.
Yeah.
They had to give land?
Yes.
So that okay, go ahead.
I just said Alsace-Lorraine as well, right? I mean, Germany and France, they didn't fight.
Germany and France were fighting. So he was.
They had, the Franco-Prussian War, right?
The what? Franco-Russian, French,
Prussian, German, right?
Prussian meets German.
Yeah, Prussia. Yeah.
Prussian meets German.
Prussia is a big province of Germany. It encompasses Poland. At the time, Poland was
Prussia.
part of the what Bismarck had cobbled together.
Prussia. Right? Look, he was telling me there was Austria, and there was
Austria was a giant empire, right? Remember Marie Antoinette? She was from Austria. She was the daughter of Maria Theresa, right?
Okay.
Louis the 16th. Right?
Okay.
That was in the 1780s. I think.
Okay.
Okay, so the Austrian Empire was a very powerful empire back in the 16, 17, 1800s, right?
Okay.
That
Uh-huh.
eventually dissolved. You know, Napoleon was at war with those guys. He defeated them.
Napoleon was French, right? France. France was at war with.
Technically, he was of Italian lineage, right? Bonaparte is not a French surname; it's an Italian.
So
He was born on a
so
little island,
Italy,
Corsica.
France. So okay, but then he says they were at that time there was revolt against Austria by Bosnia. They wanted to be independent.
Uh,
No.
The Austrian Empire was weakening, they had a lot of independent states that wanted to secede from them, right?
Yeah.
One of the points of agitation, okay, there was the Archduke Ferdinand, right? Who was the royalty of, I don't know, one of those Bosnians. Was it Bosnia?
Okay. Okay.
He was
Ye-
assassinated, right? That was not the cause of World War One, but that was the triggering event.
Yes.
All these alliances, you know.
The alliance with
like
Russia, right? With Germany, with Russia, something. There was France, Germany,
The bottom
Russia.
line is Britain
Yeah.
did not want to lose its power, right? They were becoming very jealous of Germany.
Yes.
Germany was an expanding industrial powerhouse. They definitely did not want them to unite with Russia. They had
Yes.
those vast resources.
Germany and Russia were backing.
So basically, Britain was the one that was, they really wanted to go to war with Germany.
Britain wanted to go to war with Germany because they didn't want Germany having superpower
They
there.
wanted to supplant them, right? No power, like the United States, we're doing the same thing. We don't want to give up our power. I don't want to say
Who wants to dominate the world?
Neocons, right? So we are going to lose our place. This is every other empire.
But they.
Hopefully, in this case, we don't subvert to nuclear war. That's what I worry about.
Yeah.
The he was saying the look
There's
the
hot water for tea for you.
the origin of royalty in England. It's not the same that's here, but when did royalty begin in England?
Well, I mean, they had the Normans, right, who were basically displaced Vikings.
Yes.
They came in to Normandy. A place in France is called Normandy. It's named for the Northmen, right?
Normandy, the Northman. Is it there's a cross and then there's the X, right?
That's later on in history. The Normans invaded in 1066 at Hastings. They invaded in
Normans,
the eastern part of England, right? And they defeated the.
Where did they come from? From Scandinavia?
A few generations before, they had come down from Scandinavia. Like,
come down where? To
probably
eastern coast of England?
Denmark, I would guess, right?
Denmark.
Like my family history dates back to that. So
the windmills,
that's Holland.
Where's the one where the prostitution drugs are legal?
The top, there's a little isthmus that sticks up, or a little.
It's they don't wear wooden shoes.
Like and there's a little straight, that's all the Baltic Sea.
But why would you distinguish the two? Do they wear wooden shoes and have like beer festival, that kind of thing?
Germany.
They don't have tulips. The tulip fields of tulips.
Tulips was Holland.
So what does Denmark have?
Vikings.
That butter, don't they?
That butter. Right.
Which one's the one that's prostitution and drugs are legal? Holland. So Holland has the tulips.
Every European country has its red light districts. It's legal, and nobody's going to prosecute anybody in red light districts.
Okay.
They recognize that. Here we have Vegas. We have some places in Vegas.
The casinos? No, casinos are not.
There are some counties in Nevada where it's legal.
Nevada, not in California.
No.
There are no spots in California except the massage places.
Like I've said, the police just look the other way. They know about it. Nobody's getting hurt. So.
Okay. Look, he said, so that it was the French. Can we not digress? Every time we start something that goes into sex, it was the because they were revolting against Austria, the Bosnians. Austria got help from Germany and Russia against
They had
France.
various alliances.
France and
it's like we have NATO. There's alliance. Well, if you attack one of us, you're attacking all of us. Type of thing. They had that same sort of situation cobbled together in Europe at that time. So Germany was together. I think it was together with Italy and what are the other Axis powers?
Russia. What?
Germany, Italy, Austria. I'm not sure what other countries were
against France and England.
France and Britain, and I don't know. It was a complicated thing, but anyway, all these countries got drawn into it, and U.S. Roosevelt wanted us to get drawn into it.
Roosevelt wanted to get us into it because to what?
For World War II, right? And in World War I, Wilson wanted to get us in. Why? Because these power-hungry guys behind the scenes, they're warmongers and they want war.
Other than the profit of it, they want what the interest they have.
Profit of it, sure. All these companies that manufacture could be rifles, tanks, could be uniforms.
So that's the profit. But then the political power in Europe, they want to control Europe, right? They want to be
right, just like the European Union. Well, not only do they want that, they want Europe to rise to its former glory, where they're the dominant force in the world.
What's Tucker's glory? July's glory? What did you say?
They want to achieve their former glory.
Who does?
Europe.
Former glory means Roman. Means the Empire, Roman Empire.
Not the Roman Empire. They want to be the. Listen, every place in the world has its turn at being the top dog.
So which one are you talking about?
For quite a while. 100 years.
What other one was it other than the Roman Empire? So the Roman was at the time top dog, right?
Remember, Romans took over from Greece, right?
Greece
was the dominant power.
Rome, and what else?
Well, I mean, you go to other parts of the world, right?
The Persepolis, Persian Empire.
7 empires in China, right?
What are the ones in Europe?
Persians had their empire.
Persian, Persepolis,
and Darius and Xerxes and
Darius and Xerxes, yeah.
They all had their chance. Now,
in Europe, what else was it?
Big one. Okay, we went through the Middle Ages. You really didn't have much in terms of conquest. Yeah, you had the Holy Roman Empire, which wasn't much. But starting in about the 1300s, Italy rose again.
The Renaissance.
The Renaissance, right? They were more martial-oriented. They were not so much.
They were more what?
Trading, right? They were not so much, conquest-oriented. The real conquest.
Trading,
period,
not conquest.
Conquest period came with Portuguese. Portuguese, they were the most westward-facing nation.
That has to. What does that have to do with?
And they were so they developed better vessels for ships and whatnot.
To America.
No,
the New World.
Portuguese conquered Brazil, right?
When was that? Was it before Christopher Columbus or after?
That was before Christopher Columbus.
Oh, they were going. So they already knew about it. So they already came to Brazil. Who came to?
Let's see. Christopher Columbus was 1492. Portuguese had a guy named Vasco da Gama.
Yeah. So he was there, Christopher Columbus. He did it before Christopher Columbus, or afterwards.
Both, France. I think
I didn't. You understand, Peter?
When was Vasco da Gama born?
Vasco da Gama was born September 29, 1469.
Okay, so he was 23 years old when Columbus sailed. So Columbus might have been, he might have been before him. Now Columbus was a Spaniard, he wasn't Italian, right?
Columbus? I don't know.
Yeah, he tried to get
Spanish.
finance- he tried
So
to
the
get
distinction with
finance
Spain and
into,
Italy.
Italy for a while, and then they turned him down, and it was finally Ferdinand and Isabella that provided the financing for him to take 3 ships. I think they were
Ferdinand, Isabella were royalty in Italy.
No, they were Spaniards. They were the unification of Castile, which is a big province in Spain, and Aragon, which is another big province in Spain. Okay.
So Spain.
Families married, so now you had this real powerful duo, right?
So Spain sent Christopher Columbus. Portugal sent the one that went to Brazil.
Now, what had happened? They had what was known as the Spanish Inquisition. A little before this, right? So what was the Spanish Inquisition? Basically, they wanted everybody to become Catholics, right? And so a lot of people were pressed to convert from Judaism, right?
Mhm.
Renounce it because
They converted
if you
Jews
converted,
to.
they let you alone, but if you didn't, they gave you a hard time.
They were converting Jews in
Right.
Portugal to
That happened in Portugal too. It happened in Italy as well.
Italy and
Italian-
Spain.
But Spain was most renowned for the Inquisition because they were pretty brutal.
Spain.
You
That
could die because if you didn't convert. Right?
that was. So then that's why she sent Christopher Columbus to convert the people in
They were
America.
able to use a lot of Jews, right, to form his crew, right?
As slave labor.
I don't know if you're totally.
Why are
slave,
Jews
but-
seafaring? I never think of Jews as seafaring. Why is it? Why do you think Jews use Jews?
A lot of the New World colonies, they used Jews to help populate the colonies.
The Jews were the original colonists.
I'm not saying the only ones, but they did use
Pilgrims were Jews? No.
them.
the
Pilgrim
Quakers?
Pilgrim is a sect from Britain, right? Britain and Holland, right? They weren't.
Which were the Jews that came to America?
Generally speaking, Jews did not immigrate to America until the 1800s.
No, the ones that are on the boat on Christopher Columbus. Spain brought them. Oh, they're the Jesuits? They're the Jesuits?
Not all of his crew members were Jews. I don't want to give you that impression.
No. Wait. What was that population of Jews that came with Christopher Columbus to America? No. What were they called? They were the Jesuits. They were the Pilgrims. They were the. So that's not it. But no. They could have been converted to Catholicism. They could have been the ones converted.
They may have been. Remember, you had the options back in the day, right? You became a mariner because maybe there wasn't any other work, right?
Who did they look? The concept of the Jews coming to America. I didn't know that. I always thought more.
Costa Rica, they had 2 failed colonizations. Spain did. They tried to colonize Costa Rica, I think 1512 or something like that. They set up a little place and then the population die out. Sometimes because of disease, malaria, whatever.
Yeah.
It was the 3rd time they had pressed a lot of Jews into service. They came and that actually took off.
Which was where?
In Costa Rica.
And then what was
Jews in
that?
Costa Rica, they took on different last names. They didn't retain their Hebrew names anymore.
Jews in Costa
In
Rica.
Costa Rica, they frequently chose names of animals. So you get people with last names Lobo, which is wolf, or Conejo, which is
Which is what the Indians there do. That's called their totem animal.
Well, whatever. And also trees. They took last names of trees.
What that population in Costa Rica? Jews in Costa Rica.
These are the 16th century Jews, 1500s. Right?
What would that population? Okay, they were
What the population?
Spanish Jews. which you
They were
call,
Spanish Jews. Okay,
which was
so
called,
Portugal was the first country to, try. They claimed Brazil. Spain claimed, Florida. They claimed almost all of South America except for Brazil was claimed by the Spanish conquistadores.
the conquistadors.
They would send the conquistadores after they had made the initial discovery. They would recruit. Okay, hey, we're gonna, we
Conquistadors.
found gold or we found silver here. Okay, so they would recruit all these people. Go
So
over.
major, some portion of that were the Jews that are converted to Catholicism because of the Inquisition.
Yes.
Were there any that weren't converted to? Were they keeping secret that they're Jewish because they didn't want to?
Yeah. They still
So
have-
you
still
wouldn't
main-
know about
they
it if
maintained, their own
they were
religious habits.
the people
Privacy in their
pretending.
house.
The people pretending to be Catholic when they're actually Jews.
Yeah. I guess the Inquisition would do that to you.
Yeah.
That's why they wear the yarmulke. The Catholics wear yarmulke. So do the.
The Pope wears, well, the bishops wear a mitre, which is like this. The Pope
No,
wears
the one.
a white yarmulke.
Yeah.
So okay, so you call it what? A mitre. So you put it. No. You give it another label.
Whatever.
No, hey,
So many
no,
designs you can
no. If that's actually the Pope is secretly Jew,
The first Pope was Jewish. They called Peter the first Pope. Not this Peter. He was the rock on whom the church was rebuilt, right?
the Catholics are Jews in drag.
Catholics are Jews in drag?
Yes,
The genesis of
I don't know about that.
Catholicism.
they're pretending
arose
to
out of
be
Judaism.
Catholic when they're actually Jews. The Pope is secretly Jewish.
Penny pincher.
The original Christians
But then-
were Jews. It was a sect
But
of,
they-
it was a
no.
sect of Judaism, yes.
Yeah,
But
Jesus
they-
were Jewish.
They were revolting against Christ. They say that Jesus isn't the Messiah. He's just a son. He's just a
Oh,
child of God. Just like they were disputing
branches.
Jesus being the Messiah, right?
What's that?
They were disputing Jesus as the Son of God
Okay.
or the Messiah.
Really, Christianity, which is followers of Christ, didn't take off until about 300 years until after he died.
Yes.
Right? It was Constantine who, for reasons other than strictly seeing an image in the cloud, right, converted to Catholicism. Well, number one, when
He saw.
did that, he was able to go back and rob the pagan churches, right? Take away
What's
all
it?
their
What
valuables.
image he saw? He saw image in the.
He was in a battle, wasn't he,
Yeah,
Constantine?
yeah.
And he looked up at the sky and saw, I don't know, something.
Jesus or the
And
Messiah?
He was victorious in the battle, and so the story goes, at that point he converted to Catholicism.
So you see God in a foxhole in battle.
Whatever.
That is who you have. That's what happened in Dracula. Listen, no, right?
Pointing again.
He constantly saw that, and he became,
He constantly saw it. That's the story goes. He looked at the clouds and he saw that.
and he converted to.
And that's when supposedly he converted, and his followers, by this time,
To
he had
what was he before? He was
pagan.
He was pagan.
Pagan.
So
Actually a name that
that-
applies
no,
to
no,
a
no,
lot
no,
of
no.
religions. Now, Catholicism, in order to adopt all these followers, they couldn't just divorce themselves of all the pagan customs.
yes,
So
they
a lot of
disguised
modern
it. So
customs
you
we
see,
think of being Christianity
look,
were actually incorporated from pagan.
listen. That makes perfect sense. The psychology, why he would have that vision, he would get, even subconsciously, he would dawn on him in that battle for victory. He needs to.
Well, like I said, it had multiple purposes. And one of the purposes was he could go in and all the pagan temples he could rob them. But
Pagans.
the craft, it was Constantine that convened
The Council of Nicaea,
the Council of Nicaea, right? I think it was
with
320.
the purpose of which to have power over people,
Well, it
to
was basically,
subjugate.
to formalize, what up to that point had been a pretty diverse, not unified type of religion. They needed
Monopolize.
Well, they needed to get the story straight, right? So what did they have up to that time? They had the gospel according to so-so and the gospel. You might have had, and they just called it the gospel according to Mark or Matthew, right? It wasn't like there was a guy named Matthew that wrote that gospel, or John that wrote that gospel, right? They kind of assigned these names. They don't know who the real authors were. A lot of the times there were similar versions, and they kind of agreed, okay, let's combine these. Let's take out this and this. Appears that some of the Gospels, they think Matthew was the first one written, but there's other Gospels are much better written in Greek than in the earlier ones. So they think that maybe one of them was written by somebody who only spoke Aramaic or something. What?
Make the original language of Jesus. I would think that would be which one's the one who wrote the Aramaic one?
Aramaic? We don't know their names.
Which gospel is the one that you don't name it them? The one of them was written the original Aramaic.
One of them was penned by some. They borrowed from each other. Each story, right? There's a lot of similarities, but there's divergences too. Over a period of several hundred years, the story's going to change.
Yeah. So then, but
it's
then
not like they were printing Bibles and everybody's reading the same text. When you wanted a copy, there was some guy that had to spend a long time writing on animal skins.
Yeah.
So these Bibles would take, a whole Bible might take a year to write. Or more.
If you want to, the different versions of it, right? So
that was one of the problems. They needed to get, make something codified.
You would rate the different versions, right?
That's what the Council of Nicaea in part was for. It was fine. Okay, let's do an agreement. It was a big editing process, in other words. And they basically, well, this doesn't play well with our current narrative, so they threw out any of the earlier life of Jesus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was supposedly, as a child, he was a little bit mischievous, right?
Yeah.
So those things got tossed out.
Ben, there's the versions that give power to the individual, love one another. There's a one version that the Council of Nicaea, it's agenda to control people, right?
Well,
would say sex is a sin, and you don't shoot the money is a root of all, right?
In the early going there, they had so many different versions. That's why, Christianity was not only focused in Rome. It was focused in Egypt. It was focused in Armenia under Bartholomew, right? Mm-hmm. And so the head of the church was always the bishop. Mm-hmm. The Pope was known formally as the Bishop of Rome. He was first among equals, sort of like, right? Mm-hmm. All these other bishops, the Eastern Orthodox, right? And all these different, prelates, the head guy. But over time, the Roman Catholic bishop became more, had more of an audience and more subscribership. So that's why Catholicism evolved today to be the dominant sect of Catholicism. Mm-hmm. But not the only sect.
What's the dominant sect of Catholicism?
Roman Catholicism.
It's the original one.
Well, they're original. Other original. The Coptic Church is original too.
Why?
because
No,
the
no.
church-
Why did you say it's a that because of this? It's a dominant.
Because more people subscribe to it.
So that's the reason they sent conquistadors to America to get more.
Well, one of the objectives in order to colonize an area would be to convert the people to
Yeah.
the religion and then effectively use them as slaves. And we had Juanito Rosetta here in California. He established all these missions. But basically, they used the Indian, the locals, as their labor force, and they whipped them if they didn't behave. And they were running basically a slave racket. Nothing holy about religions in general.
Yeah.
Dude.
And they weren't even the bad sect. They were the Franciscan sect.
Yeah.
Jesuit sect was even worse.
Yeah.
Ben,
They tortured
So-
Galileo, right?
Oh, well, Galileo was.
those are Jesuits?
Yeah.
The Jesuits?
Why?
How'd it go?
Oh,
It's Janet.
my girlfriend, you go.
I was telling Peter that your common neighbor painted Ian's house.
What?
Your common neighbor, you and
Yeah.
Peter's common neighbor.